So there's a question asked, okay? And by the way, I was not planning on making this video. I actually am making it because I'm like in the right emotion to make this video, which is pretty great. And like sometimes it just feels right to say this and get it out there. Especially with this view with the beautiful tree there, me and my lovely wall, and me next to my office area, and me laying in this lovely extra bed. I have a lot of positive stuff, I think, one thing for me, not taking these things for granted. And it's just, this is my day off from my amazing job. And it's like, well, I have an amazing home and I just love how I can enjoy it. And I'm also, I think, starting to become a little down under the weather too. So, there's something special kind of about that scenario. Not the suffering from the sickness, but looking outside and knowing that I'm in a cozy home to help me with this being down under the weather. There's that very warm, comforting feeling, which I love. It really makes me a better person. It makes the world a better place. A question has been asked. Why do bad things happen to good people? That question I've thought about a lot. I think a lot of people have. But I know for me, as an individual human being, I know I really have wrestled with that scenario. I love the question because, it's not like clear-cut answer. It's not very black and white, very grayish, I think. And I used to say this past summer, a better question, all right, or this past year, and I really agree with it. I'm not sure if it's a better question, but it does ring true to humanity and the individual person, is that it's not the matter of the reason why bad things happen to good people. Does it really, like the reason for that, like why do bad things, like does that really matter? Or what really helps me push along in my life, or when something bad happens to me, all right, I usually think about this. What do good people do when bad things hit? I've thought about that. Like, there's this story that I love, and it's about a farmer who had a lot of land, he had a lot of sons and daughters, and he had a lot of wealth, he had a lot of livestock. This farmer one day coincidentally lost everything. His sons and daughters were killed by the storms of the weather. His livestock were all stolen and slaughtered. His lands were burnt. And he had he then started to get sicknesses and all over that and all of that, and he is really, I don't say, His life was really, I don't want to say devastation hit the fan. This guy's life had devastation hit the fan. And there was a person in his life that was applying, it was really, and actually, by the way, I don't want to, I was thinking about not saying this, but I'm like, how to say it. His wife was applying for him to do something really bad, something very heinous, but he didn't do it because it was the right thing to do. And even through all this great suffering, he was very he was very he didn't understand why the heck it's all going on. But what he was really focusing on, to my interpretation of the story, is the goodness he can hold on to. For example, one of the things I can really relate to that story right now, because positivity, one of the things when I think being under the weather a little bit can really get a different perspective of life itself, which I absolutely love. I think also, and when all this stuff happened, out of the blue, some of his friends came to comfort him. And then they started to say, you did something wrong to deserve this. You did something wrong to deserve it. Actually, in the story, towards the end of the story, in fact, as the individual person who knows the story, in fact, actually, he didn't do anything wrong, but his friends were very accusing and all of that. And it really explored very well on how human nature deals with, problems or someone who does something, because usually I think a lot of the time when bad things do happen, no one deserves it. It just happens. And there's no answer to it, there's no answer for the human comprehension, okay, or for the human understanding. That's kind of where my thoughts are. Maybe there is, but I don't know. And it goes to that notion, okay? And now, the thing which was one of the great morals of the story to me was that the guy, throughout all of this suffering, throughout all of this agony, throughout losing his children, some of the worst things that can ever happen to a person, and through all of his pain, grief, throughout all of his struggle, he was still willing to do the right thing. And just by doing the right thing, it makes the world a better place. Now, the question popped into my head, why make the world a better place? And because it's the right thing to do. One of the things, I saw an equation on this board, and it really moved me once. I really loved it. I did not expect it to. It really moved me. And I actually loved this equation. And you know what? I'll do the equation right now on this lovely board I have. Alright. Best I can. I kind of forgot how it goes, so you know what? I'm still gonna do it. That's good. First equation is that, let's see here, bad equals a lot in the world. So that really means that, well, a lot of people who do bad things obviously get a lot of stuff in the world, okay? Like, for example, I'm not going to put out an example, but there's people out there who has done immense bad that's got a lot of stuff. They got mansions, they got millions and millions of bucks. They got a lot of men, they got a lot of chicks, whatever the case is, they got a lot. So to have a lot, well, I guess I gotta go do bad things, okay? I guess I gotta go do this or that, okay? Right, but there's another equation that just came to my head. Well, let's see here. I like that a lot better. So another equation is, well, bad equals less. Because, well, now knowing that is the case that, okay, some people do a lot of bad and they don't have, some people who do a lot of bad, they have a lot in the world, while other people who do bad, they have less. So what's the answer here? Let me see here. I think I've got an answer here. I think I've got an interesting equation. Yeah, that's fine. Good. Yes, gonna go with the G word. Good equals arc. I got it. So, well, if I want a lot in the world, like maybe fast cars, maybe whatever it is, good equals a lot. Because, you know, there's some real good people out there that's they just have a lot. They have a lot of money. They got millions. They got chicks. They got boys. They got sons and daughters. They have a lot. All right. Wait, holy shit, man. I am shocked to the floor right now. Another equation just came to my head. What the heck? All right. Because each equation I'm seeing, all right, bad. If people do bad things, they get a lot. Wait, if people do bad things, they get less. If good people do a lot, they get a lot. Another equation. All right, that's good. This equation, I'm sure, will become a shocker. It's already a shocker to me. A very big shocker, in fact. Good equals less. Ah, mind blowing. I did not see that foreshadow coming here. Wow. So for the two B words and for the two G words, ba-boom. So, well, that's interesting. Well, some people who do bad get a lot, and other people who do good get less. And it could go the same way. A lot of people who do good get a lot, and a lot of people who do bad get less. Well, what's the equation here in this earth, right? Like, well, like, do I just do bad things to get a lot, or do I do good things to get a lot, or do I do bad things to get less, or do I do good things? I think the equation that has just came to my mind is a very interesting equation here. Gonna go for a whole new category here. I'm giving out a hint. It's not gonna be a B or a G. In fact, we're gonna have an R word and a B word in here. Right equals better. I did arrows to put out examples. This is a dreams and goal chart here. This is a picture I drew at a time that represented an evil place turned good, some accomplishments, and a very important role model in my life. Never give up in my DePaul school graduation speech. But right equals better. So, well, what does that mean? What does that mean? Okay. Well, it really ties into all the equations perfectly. Bad equals a lot in the world. Wait, if I do bad things, I'll get a lot in this world. But that's not always the case, because sometimes people who do bad things get less. All right, well, if I do good in this world, I will get a lot. But how can that be the case? Because some people who do good get less in this world. You do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. And from doing the right thing because it's the right thing to do, the individual makes the world a better place. Right? For me, when I look at this equation, I see this, I could care less about that. I care about that. Because I know, for me, when I do the right thing, I'm going to be making myself a better individual person. And from making myself a better individual person, that will make the world a better place. And honestly, if I really think about this equation here, and it's a great equation here, because it's like, well, a lot of that, it feels like it's going to the human inner desire to an extent of that, oh, I want all of this, I want all of that, so on and so forth. And what about, like, basically just thinking about the individual self, me, and not about, what about making this world a better place? Like, so, yesterday, I saw a influential individual in my life, and this individual, I've noticed that he and I we have very similar experiences. He and I were more similar than I thought. And he was talking about, I was talking to him about social media and how I hate I was talking to him about how I hate social media, and it's not my cup of tea. Social media is definitely not my cup of tea. And it's not. It is not. I don't like. I just don't like the concept of social media. I remember telling him, yeah, I think the social media will be the bane of human existence, and I really love this part here. He started to talk to me about how, yeah, some people I know personally in my life, they post on Facebook about how their life is so great and how they're doing this and how they're doing that. Okay, they're all happy. They got these, my imagination, they got all the materialistic possessions, which I don't agree with materialistic possessionism at all. And he told me, I know them personally, and they're not, and it's not like that way at all in their life. And I was thinking, I was thinking, and I said to him, yeah, it's most of the time not. It's the total opposite. It's the total opposite. Okay. And then I think one of the other things that I think can help humanity out is not, I think, looking for things to lift, not for things to lift the individual person up, but for the individual to look for ways to lift the people up around the individual. Like, I don't think I've ever said this in a Watch Out episode or anything like this, or in my YouTube channel. I remember. So this quote was from Mother Teresa, okay, and I don't want to get into the religious thing. I'm gonna imagine it's from some ordinary. I would say, I don't want to say she's not a ordinary person. I just want to say it could come from any person out there, okay? And she said, her quote said, "One day there will be probably a question that will be asked to the individual person that," I forgot how the quote went, but it was, I'm not going to get on my computer and look it up, but it was something like, not on how many people the individual converted, but it's on how did you love on the people who were around you. And I can really relate to that, because I think that's a great disregard on the notion of materialistic possessions, or that notion, so on and so forth, right? And I think, what I get out of that is not the notion of conversion, not one bit, to whatever cause. It doesn't matter. But it's more about on loving the people around. For me, and just loving and knowing, seeing what I can do to just help them make the world a better place. All right. I would say not just for myself, but for the people around me. For myself, yeah, but but for also them. Like, I'm not thinking about me, but I'm thinking about what their needs are. That's how the world can become a better place. And so now I guess I'll end this Watch Out episode with this notion of, and I love this notion a lot, Why do bad things happen to better people? Why do bad things happen to good people? A better question would be, what do good people do when bad things hit the fan? That would actually be a good song. That would be a very good song right there about that concept. I would love to make a song about that. Why do bad people? Why do? Why do? Wait. Why do? Oh, dang it all. Well, if the song comes out, I'll hear it. I'll hear how it sounds.